an assassin of sorts, a really big competitor, a huge threat to the women's division. And, she had this idea about wanting to cut hair as trophies, to keep, which is a little bit more understandable in that context. And Awesome Kong's not a talker, so naturally a good fit was her music when she needed somebody to talk to be the one to talk. Unfortunately, you can lay out, a huge trajectory of things that you want to do, and sometimes things just happen that don't allow that to happen. And one of the things was I noticed that Awesome Kong was not physically feeling great. And she's my friend, so I would never want to ask somebody to work in a capacity where I know they're going to hurt themselves. So what then happened was, more of a greater group discussion of, okay, well, what do we do here? And the Nightmare Collective came to be. And there were, some really great ideas coming from various different directions from various people that I respect very much in the company, wanting to help and see this flourish because it had some really great tools. But the problem, and one of the things that we claim at AEW is that, we let our artists play their music the way that they want to play it. I'm one of the artists that's part of the Nightmare Collective, and I started to see that the music was not playing how I liked it. Like I didn't feel it. And I started to notice that audience members were on the same page as me. I was starting to feel like, hey, I'm not really understanding this, or some things are happening that are happening too quickly for people to really keep up with this, or, this is a nice idea.
Shut the fuck up. You're a fucking cunt. Shut the fuck up. You're a stupid cunt. Suck my dick.
Oh, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is I, Jacob McGovern, a.k.a. Cubics, and this is another edition of the best show here, the best show there, the best show anywhere. This is Shootin' the Shit with McGovern, and this is an audio-only edition of Shootin' the Shit because I cannot properly set up my camera to show my lustrous, sexy face. So you're just going to be hearing the sexy sounds of my voice. So, yes, what you just heard was Brandy Rhodes, the chief brand officer, get it? The chief brandy officer of AEW, talking about the Nightmare Collective. That dumb fucking stable of her and Awesome Kong and some bitch who's a ripoff of Rhea Ripley coming out there cutting off people's hair. And, we are the Nightmare Collective, and we are a collective of people who... And now that everyone has shat on it, Brandy Rhodes comes out and says, oh, no, this was not playing... It was not playing to the music that I liked it, or whatever the fuck she said. It was everybody else's fault. It wasn't her fault, because she didn't come up with the idea. She just passes the blame off. Okay. Now, here's the thing. You want to know why Brandy Rhodes passed the blame off to someone else? Because she doesn't want to take credit for a shitty fucking idea. That's really what it is. So now, ever since people have been shitting on the whole Nightmare Collective storyline, Brandy Rhodes is coming out saying, well, oh, wait, it wasn't my idea in the first place. Yeah. So... it's no one's fault, but now Brandy Rhodes is back in the position where she should be, is playing in the background to Cody Rhodes, because that's exactly where she should be. Because Brandy Rhodes has no fucking charisma, no presence whatsoever. It's embarrassing. The whole women's division in general in AEW is embarrassing. It's so embarrassing to the point that we have Nyla Rose as the first transgender AEW Women's Champion, the first transgender champion in all of wrestling. We got to break down barriers here. I mean, this is the thing that they should have done in the beginning with AEW, instead of having a fucking, China doll who can barely wrestle, have as their first champion. But that's besides the point. Kenny Omega is their executive vice president, by the way. So Got to remind people of that shit. Anyways, yes, this is Shooting the Shit. It is brought to you exclusively by Trojan Condoms. They are good for you. They are good for her. The Ecstasy Edition is the best version. Scott, you want the link onto this shit? I'll fucking add you in. But yeah, no, Nyla Rose is the new AEW Women's Champion. I know everyone has been clamoring for that. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but every time I tune into AEW, I want to see Nyla Rose because her wrestling ability is just, it's top notch. It really is. It's better than the most. I mean, Rio especially. Rio is just this best match. I mean, she does all the great matches. I mean, remember that one match against... I mean, she had that one match against that one. You know what I'm saying? Like, Rio sucks, okay? The only reason why she has a fucking contract, the only reason why she is being featured on TV is because she's blowing Kenny Omega, all right? Let's just be honest. Floppy is in the chat. He said, who are we shooting? We shoot everyone on Shooting the Shit, all right? On Shooting the Shit, this is the show where the shit gets shot at every single time, all right? But yeah, no, if anyone wants the link, come on in. I wanted to have a discussion about professional wrestling. Let me send the link to a few trusted fellas. Eric Melendez is secretly a homosexual. I agree with that. I tend to agree with that shit because he gives off homosexual vibes. And you know what? You can be gay all you want. I love the gays. You can be gay, you can be straight, you can be, square, circle, triangle. You can be whatever the fuck you want. I love them all. But yeah, Eric Melendez is just he has another thing going on. So I'm saying they need to put the helmet back on that dude and put him back in the cage. And no, I'm not implying that they should put him in the cage because he's black. I'm just saying they should put him in the cage because he's not right in the head. Anyways, Monday Night Raw was on tonight. We had the Monday Night Messiah, coming out there talking his usual bullshit because Seth Rollins is the one guy we should have out there cutting fucking 10-minute long promos. So out of all the people on the fucking roster that has more than fucking 300 people employed, they should have Seth Rollins coming out there and cutting promos. That's what makes the most sense. Anyways, let me just send the link to a few trusted individuals. I'll send it to Scotty Gale. I'll send it to Floppy if he wants it. I don't fucking know. Let's go. Control C. Because that's saying copy shit. I don't know. I basically just got on the stream to just start talking about, the greatest company in the world, AEW, and of course the greatest storyline that came to an end recently of the Nightmare Collective. I mean, you know what? I was watching AEW exclusively for the Nightmare Collective because it was so beautiful. I mean, Awesome Kong was out there with her knees all bent, barely could even walk. And, you got the person out there who looks like Rhea Ripley if Rhea Ripley shaved her head and did fucking opioids and she's out there walking around all fucking weird. I was looking forward to that every single week. And then that one dude who looks like a fucking homeless guy with makeup on his face, what's his name? Luther. I don't fucking know. See, this is the thing. When Luther came out, everyone was like, oh, I can't believe that, people didn't know about Dr. Luther. Oh, yeah, how could you not know about Dr. Luther? It's like, okay, no one fucking gives a fuck about sleazy deathmatch wrestling. All right? Like, the common fan doesn't give a fuck about that shit. See, this is the problem with AEW. They have no stars whatsoever. No stars whatsoever. Okay, it's cool that they gave fucking 50-year-old Dr. Luther a job, on mainstream television. That's all well and good. But where are guys like Aaron Stevens? They're on fucking YouTube for NWA Power. Oh, that's great. So, why aren't they on national television? That's the thing that fucking bothers me. It bothers me to see a fucking guy like Brian Cage on the worst fucking wrestling product, Impact Wrestling, but not on AEW. It makes sense. The only thing that AEW has done good recently is brought in fucking Jeff Cobb. And we don't even know if Jeff Cobb has signed a deal. That's the thing. We don't even know if he signed a contract. So, Jeff Cobb could very well be there for this match with Jon Moxley, and that's it. I'm just saying, we don't know for sure. That's pretty much the only move from AEW so far that I've seen, and I go, wow, that's pretty interesting. Let me send the link to good old Polston here, because Polston wants the link. There we go. Now I got the link to Polston. Now it's about to be a show. Yeah, see, Floppy said it right. More like shit-packed wrestling. It's like, find the sleaziest wrestlers on the indie scene and put them all on one show. That's Impact Wrestling. You got Willie Mack and fucking Desmond Xavier and like who else is on that fucking show? Like they have Tessa Blanchard as their world champion. All right, she looks like a fucking foot. It's fucking gross. And she's out there as the world champion. And you know what? I like women. I like vagina. I like all that shit. And I'm glad for intergender wrestling and that woohoo, we can do that now, men versus women. But they should not have a woman who looks like Tully Blanchard with tits as the world champion.
Hello?
I'm saying, hello, we got Scott Casey Gale in on the show. My boy, my pal, Scotty Gale.
Hey, what's up?
Man?
Not much.
Oh no, Floppy just said something that's kind of fucked up. They got Rich Swann, the Ray Rice of pro wrestling. Come on, man. He was acquitted. Who did he beat up? Did he beat up what's her name? What's her name? She's Asian. I want to say something, but I want to be racist. I was going to say Chang or Ming or some shit like that, but that's not right. Su Yung, that's her name. Su Yung. Okay, I got it right. You know who Su Yung is? Scott, you watch Impact, right?
Yeah, Su Yung. That's who he beat up.
Yeah, that's who Rich Swann beat up. Yeah, he was acquitted. It's not all that bad. How you doing tonight, Scott?
I'm doing good.
Yeah. So how did you feel about this episode of Raw tonight? Was it good or was it bad? Because I think it was pretty fucking shitty.
It started out good, then it went to horrible.
You see, okay, now I like Drew McIntyre. I really do. But and see that promo he cut tonight, it was good, but it was borderlining on the cringe. It was borderline. You can tell. Now I don't know. See, like, I'm just a wrestling fan who's been watching this since I was 5 years old. I'm just saying, you can tell that Vince wrote that promo for Drew tonight. You could tell. And that had Vince written all over it when he was talking about, they're gonna hear the 3, 2, and 1. That had Vince written all over it. But I hope that they don't fuck Drew up royally until WrestleMania. All right. Once he gets the title, then they can do all the hokey shit. But don't start fucking writing his promos for him now. At least let him get over first, and then Vince can fuck them all up. That's what I'm saying. I at least want them to it's like if someone's about to get tortured and they're about to die. It's like Game of Thrones. They're about to get tortured. It's like at least feed them some bread first. They'll give them some bread before you fucking fuck them in the ass. But yeah, no, Scott, what's your opinion? Well, first of all, what's your opinion on NXT TakeOver Portland? That's a show that I haven't even fucking talked about yet. That happened last night, and that was an amazing show.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it too.
I don't know how Johnny Gargano is gonna do as a heel though. He just doesn't seem heel to me.
Okay, now this is my problem. Didn't they do this shit last year?
Yeah, I think when I think they did, like when Tommaso Ciampa did it or something.
No. Like last year, they had you had DIY reunite in the Dusty Classic last year, and then Johnny turned on him in that fucking match. So so it made sense more than ever to do it then. Why? And then Johnny Gargano won the NXT title, and then Tommaso Ciampa came out and congratulated him. So it seemed like all was good between the two. Mm-hmm. So, but now Johnny Gargano turned. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't make any fucking sense. It really doesn't. And they just had this really good DIY. They had a really fucking great match against Mustache Mountain. It was DIY versus Mustache Mountain. That was a fucking excellent match at Worlds Collide. And I don't see the purpose of this. I mean, probably to get one more match out of Gargano and Ciampa, but even then, it's like, who's gonna win in that scenario? Because if Gargano wins, it really doesn't make any much sense because he's not challenging for the title or anything. So a win for him wouldn't make any sense. Ciampa winning wouldn't make any sense either because he's beaten Gargano how many fucking times. So I don't really see the point of doing another match between those two. But it seems like what's going to happen is that at the next TakeOver event, it's going to be Adam Cole versus Finn Balor. I mean, it's obvious that they're grooming Finn Balor for the NXT title. I mean, Finn Balor is on a fucking roll right now, and that match with Gargano was good, but it wasn't the match of the night. All right, like I think the match of the night was the Broserweights versus the Undisputed Era. That match was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I love the Broserweights. Yeah,
that's probably the best NXT act I've seen in fucking years. And like all the vignettes with them sneaking in on Triple H's plane and shit, like that was just comedy gold.
Yeah.
And I saw people like Solid Monster saying like, oh, well, I can't wait till they split these guys up. No, they shouldn't split these guys up at all. This is a team that shouldn't, like, if I'm all for turning heel and splitting up teams, but this is a team that should never split up ever. And now we got the man with the plan. We got Polston in chat.
Hey, what's up, man? How's it going? How's it going, Scott? How's it going?
It's going really good.
Cubics.
It's going good, man. What's up?
Well, as you could tell right now, first off, I kind of disagree a little bit with the Tessa Blanchard thing, only because whenever I started to watch Impact, and I started to, because I had planned to go in there and shit all over it, because of course, I'm an NWA guy, and I was trying to get people invested into the NWA. The difference between an AEW, a fucking A&W wrestling, let's call it what it is, A&W wrestling, cheap gimmick, SJW wrestling, that it is they had a storyline. So, with the Tessa Blanchard and the Sami Callihan thing, man, they totally went all out. They totally went all out into it. So they put the effort into it. But you don't get that from the AEW stuff. The AEW says, hey, let's go ahead and put it on this transgender person and whatnot. Nobody wants to see a 5'7", 320-pound guy beat the hell out of a 5'1", 98-pound Asian woman. Do you want to see that? Because I sure as fuck don't want to see that. Do you want to see that, Cubics?
Oh, no, definitely not. It's like AEW is saying, let's take the person with the least amount of charisma and put them full frontal, let's put them full center. They have fucking Rio as the champion, as their first women's champion, who she can't even fucking fit the belt around her waist properly. They have to fucking put 3 different coats on her to fit the fucking waist of the belt. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was embarrassing enough. And then you have her and I saw people chanting, "This is awesome" during that Rio and Nyla Rose match. I was like, what match are they watching? Are they watching fucking Starrcade 98 on their fucking phones? Why are they chanting, "This is awesome"? It makes no fucking sense. So are they watching something I'm not watching? I was watching that shit live as it was happening. And I was thinking, are they watching something different? Like, why are they chanting, "This is awesome"? That's what I'm saying. Like, wrestling nowadays has become so clouded in fucking SJW propaganda and fucking, this is a great match because, she's a transgender woman and, look at her do what she's doing and she's not hurting her. Oh my God. This is amazing.
It's absolutely fucking, and okay, because I know Scott asked me this.
All right, hold up. Polston, hold that thought for a second. How is Eric Melendez a homosexual? Because he has homosexual tendencies. He talks like one. He looks like one. He acts like one. All right, and you know what?
He wants to suck my penis.
And he wants to suck Polston's penis. That's nothing wrong with that. You could suck Polston's penis every single day. But that's, homosexuality is not a wrong thing to do, all right? If you're gay, you're gay. If you're straight, you're straight. There's nothing wrong with that. If Eric is a homosexual, that's fine. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but we're just saying that he has homosexual tendencies. Anyways, Polston, you can get your point on it. I'm sorry. I just had to point that out to someone. Because Capcom Midway.
Okay, because I know Scott brought this up, and Scott asked me this, and I pretty much gave you a wordy response on Facebook. But it appears that Dusty Rhodes, you just don't get it, Dusty, because you've been a gimmick for so long. Hell, you've been pretty much a transgender your whole fucking career. So, don't Dusty is saying that the the wrestling fans. Well, let's go ahead and get one thing straight. This isn't wrestling. It's not. WWE isn't wrestling. AEW, it's a parody of what wrestling used to be. It's a parody, man. And so they get so frustrated because people like me, I don't even watch it. I did my little Nyla Rose video, and every once in a while I'll come back. I'm supporting NWA, as you know, because I like real wrestling, and I understand that that freaking Billy Corgan gets it. He markets to people like me. He markets to us, the wrestling fans, and that's why I will totally support NWA. But what this is you're putting the belt on Nyla Rose, and that's virtue signaling. You're trying to guilt trip us into watching your crappy product because you're not going to put the effort into it to actually produce good content, to build up characters, to go ahead and tell compelling stories, and to let it be an art form in the ring. You're just there doing backflips and spot monkey stuff, as they say. It's like the circus is what it is. It's like Circus Soleil. That's exactly what it is. And then you throw in a little bit of reality television there, and basically you feel entitled. You laugh at the fans. I mean, I don't want your product, so you're not laughing at me. I'll stick with Billy Corgan. I'll help them guys out. But I mean, even talking to these people on Twitter, I mean, you look down your nose at every one of us. Like, you really think you're up there. I'm here. I'm more than willing to work with anybody and help them out if I feel that, you're trying to make progress. But for the most part, you take, even people on NWA. That's why I don't really like Allison Kay that much. She doesn't put the effort into it. And she is entitled. And this is how I feel about everybody in AEW wrestling right now in the WWE, is they're entitled. Okay, you're not entitled to my viewership. You're not entitled to my audience. You understand what I'm saying? If you're entertaining, I'm going to invest in you. I'm going to like you. You won't have to worry about, how can we guilt him in? Oh, well, you're a racist. Oh, you're a bigot. You're a homophobe. You're a xenophobe. You're all this other stupid stuff. You wouldn't have to worry about doing that crap, because I'm going to watch you because you're building up an interesting product. You're telling good storylines. This isn't good. And if you're going to try to guilt trip us and use social justice warrior, let's just go ahead and put all our cards on the table. You absolutely have nothing, because it doesn't work that way. This is 2020, not 2014. We're not living under the, era when the Democrats are still running the White House. So it's shit. It's shit, dude. Absolutely fucking shit. 110%. You're on it, Cubics. It's crap, because I know we were sitting there talking. You were asking me to come on here because I get it.
Yep.
I just want to tell everybody, man, that these wrestling promotions, your AEWs, and the bad thing is AEW is making WWE look good right now. The Impact fans and the NXT fans,
exactly.
We agree, and they're laughing at you. They're laughing at you. They think that you're really that stupid. They don't look at you like, they don't look at you like people. They look at you like commodities, like marks. That's how they look at you. And the more you invest and the more you think that they're going to give you something, the more they're laughing at you. So the best way is to take away this audience, to take away the attention. Don't give them the views. Don't give them the reactions that they want. I mean, I know I did, and I know I sound like a fucking hypocrite right now, but it's just to be real. They don't look at you like, real life people, like they're there for you. They think that they're entitled. They're entitled. That's what I'm trying to say, man.
No, yeah, no, and literally, like when you mentioned Billy Corgan, Billy Corgan is someone who actually has a plan with the NWA. Like, he actually has a drawn out plan for where he wants his company to go. Unlike fucking Tony Khan, who is a fucking autistic mark sitting in his fucking room saying, "Oh, I have a bunch of my dad's money and I want to buy a wrestling company. I'm going to get Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks, and I'm going to get Kenny Omega. Yeah." You know, this is a fucking Billy Corgan is a guy who is like, hey, I don't understand how this wrestling works. I'm going to hire legit writers who have been in other companies, and I'm going to have them help me out in my little project here. And Khan and fucking Cody Rhodes who plan this shit out week to week. You know, the difference between fucking Kenny Omega and Adam Page being the tag team champions is that that's a thrown together team who has no fucking chemistry. You know, and see, here's the thing. You know, people always shit on me for saying, oh, Kenny Omega is, you know, the best draw in the fucking world. And, you know, you like NXT, Johnny Gargano. Okay, let's see. How much dollars has Hangman Page drawn on his own? Okay. Legitimately, if Kenny Omega was such a fucking draw, why is AEW having half-empty arenas every single week? I'm just saying. And
it's just about as fucking absurd as fucking Jim Ross saying that Jungle Boy reminds him of Kerry Von Erich. You're not supposed to snort the crack, fucking Jim Ross. I don't know what the fuck has happened with this guy, but he's sitting there saying, what's that other guy's name? That he says is like fucking Jeff Hardy, and then he says
Darby
that
Allin?
fucking Sammy. Oh, Darby Allin, yeah, that's it. And then fucking Sammy Guevara. It's probably the only one with any real talent that he mentioned.
I mean, and you know, to call Sammy Guevara the next Eddie Guerrero, here reminds me a lot of Eddie Guerrero. Or, you know, okay, just because he has a little bit of Cuban in him. And, you know, just because, you know, he looks like a fucking douche doesn't mean that he's... And see, this is the thing with Jim Ross. He called Scorpio Sky Too Cold Scorpio. He's out there saying the wrong moves, calling people by the wrong names, you know, fucking just going along with what other people say. You know, Tony Schiavone will say something and just like, oh, yeah, well, then, like Excalibur will be like, oh, the fire and the tenacity of Rio. And then Jim Ross is like, oh, yeah, the fire and the tenacity of Rio. What the Rio is here with Nyla Rose, the native beast. It's just...
you know what? I guess he had a moment of clarity. I guess what it is he was confused ever since everybody was sitting there whenever he called Nyla Rose the king of the mountain. Then I guess, you know, whenever everybody started, he got a little confused. So now he starts fucking up everybody's shit because he doesn't know if he's wrong or not, I guess. I don't know.
Well, the fact that he even had to come out on Twitter and address that, like, you know, like, well, it's called a miss up here. It's like, why do you even have to address it? You know, you just, he's the king of the mountain. Why is that a bad thing to say? I don't get it. Oh, well, you know, Jim Ross is really insensitive for calling Nyla Rose the king of the... Who cares? Who the fuck cares? Who cares? I really don't care. Does
nobody in professional wrestling fans don't give a fuck.
Does anyone care that Nyla Rose is the women's champion? That's cool. Who's going to beat her? I don't fucking care. What other women's superstar do they have? Oh, they have Britt Baker. Oh, my God. Isaac Yankem fucking 2.0 stealing people's teeth. Who the fuck cares?
It's the promotion is, I mean, like I said, you know, to sit there and think that you know, really the only time that AEW really has managed to get any real legitimate attention at all is by putting the belt on a transgender 300-pound 5'7" dude who now wants to go ahead and talk shit on Twitter, which is not very smart because, like I said, shit talking is kind of what we fucking do here. So, you know, if you're going to be talking about your ball sack, worry about your own fucking ball sack, Nyla. Not anybody else's here. Because the fact is that, you know, it's like I told Dark Horse. It's just like I told Dark Horse, and he's in the comment section. And it's just like I told you. Okay, it's one thing to be a vanilla midget and not make it in wrestling. It's an entirely different thing when you're a male and you're a vanilla midget in women's wrestling. That's sad, man.
Yeah, and Dark Horse, I know you say you care, but, like, do you honestly look forward to the next Nyla Rose match? I mean, are you honestly looking forward to seeing anyone beat Nyla Rose for the title? Who is going to do it? Like, Awesome Kong. You know, Awesome Kong is the one fucking, you know, and I don't even know.
Well, Awesome Kong is bigger than Nyla Rose. It probably outweighs Nyla Rose. I mean, like
Yeah,
I said,
Awesome Kong is just totally like she has all these injuries, and that's the only thing that's wrong with Awesome Kong right now. If she totally wasn't injury prone at this point, then she'd be the top star right now in AEW in the women's division, no doubt about it. But
probably so. Yeah, I would definitely support. I would definitely be pulling for Awesome Kong over fucking whatever. I wonder what Nyla Rose's fucking name was in a previous life. Whenever was it Nathan Rose or something, or was it what was Dark Horse? Do you know Nyla Rose's mill pseudonym or whatever?
Dark Horse, don't censor yourself. If you're tired of being censored, don't censor yourself, man. That's why I don't really give a shit about copyright or anything like that. I'll fucking play music till the end. Like, I'll just upload a video of me playing a Nirvana song, and I don't fucking care. I fucking channel take it down in a second. But I don't even know. It's like it embarrasses me to think that there's someone like Tennille Dashwood, like Emma out there as a free agent when they have Rio under contract. You know what I'm saying? Like they have legitimate women superstars being, like they have legitimate women superstars out there as free agents. They have a whole women's show, the Women's of Wrestling, wow, on AXS TV. And none of those people are in AEW. None of them. Nyla Rose should not be the women's champion. But like at the same time, who should? Sorry, what'd you say, Polston? I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry, I did the cubics thing.
It's kind of sad how well the NXT. It's kind of sad how the NXT guys and the Impact guys have all of a sudden come together in agreement that out of all the products, AEW is the worst. Whenever NXT and Impact people are agreeing that your product sucks, then, it's not just an opinion anymore. It just really does. You got to come to grips with fucking reality that maybe Dustin and Cody are just not these big wrestling masterminds. Maybe bringing in the Young Bucks and having these people as bookers is probably not the best idea. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And supposedly we got Kenny Omega and Dustin Rhodes working on the women's division exclusively, and yet fucking every single match sucks. And then we have, like this no-name Japanese girl showing up every single fucking week. Oh, it's no-name Japanese girl number 1, and no-name Japanese girl number 2 showing up. But Kenny Omega and Dustin Rhodes, they're hands-on the women's division when Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai had a fucking amazing street fight last night with virtually like no build except for like, a few things on TV here and there. Like they had a good, Tegan Nox showed up and beat up Dakota Kai. Boom, there's a street fight. You know what I'm saying? And that was a great fucking match. And then we had someone who I don't even fucking know, Raquel Gonzalez. I don't even fucking know who this bitch is, but like she just showed up out of nowhere and attacked Tegan Nox or whoever the fuck. And, they made someone unknown and made an impact. It's like, oh, who's this bitch? You know what I'm saying? That's how you get people talking. Instead of fucking, Brandy Rhodes and Awesome Kong coming out here cutting out people's hair for no fucking reason. And then Brandy Rhodes coming out saying, well, it wasn't really my idea. I know the Nightmare Collective just wasn't really playing to the tune that I thought it was, which is virtually another way to say the fans shit all over it. And now I'm fucking backtracking because, the fans shit all over it. And but it wasn't my idea.
You know whose idea it was, right? I know whose idea it was. It was fucking freaking Gentleman Chris Adams and freaking Gino Hernandez's idea back in the fucking 80s with WCCW. They were the first ones to start cutting guys' hair and keeping it in the book. Mm-hmm. You're digging back in the 80s storyline.
If you're going to do that storyline, do it with people who can get it over. Awesome Kong is someone who's, Awesome Kong can be a great heel, but not in a, you know what I'm saying? She can be a great heel, but not in a menacing, I'm going to cut off people's hair, kind of way. She can be a great heel and, I'm going to take the title kind of way, which is why
a monster heel.
Yeah, if Awesome Kong wasn't so beat to shit, then they should put the title on her. But, to Dark Horse's thing, the reason why they're not putting the title on her is because she has all these acting commitments now. She's on that show Glow on Netflix, which is actually really good. If you haven't checked that shit out, it's actually a really good show. But she's on that show, and she's had all these injuries because she's been basically making the women's division what it has been for the past years. People always credit WWE with the women's revolution, but if Gale Kim and Awesome Kong weren't tearing it up in TNA in 2006, none of this shit would have been happening. None of it. So I don't want to hear all this shit about AJ Lee and Paige and they shaped the shape of women's wrestling. No, it was Awesome Kong and fucking Gale Kim. That's what I'm saying. That's why people always shit on Gale Kim for not coming back to WWE. Well, why the fuck would she? She got treated in she got treated better in TNA than she ever did in WWE.
That's because because Impact knows how to book women wrestling. Say what you will about Impact.
That's the thing. You can never take away from Impact is that they've always known how to book like women's wrestling.
I mean, and they were on a roll whenever Billy Corrigan got in there. And like I said, I stopped watching Impact probably about 2017. And I really haven't even watched it. In fact, the only time I come back to watch it, and I know I keep getting this all the time. I get it from Brad. I get it from Dark Horse too. But I started watching the Tessa Blanchard stuff to crap on it. I wanted to go ahead. I said, I'm going to come back. I'm going to watch it. And I'm going to totally and thoroughly shit all over Impact. And I figured going into Impact and saying, hey, guys, you should come to NWA because, what you liked about Impact whenever Billy Corrigan was running everything, now he's doing the same thing in NWA. So I went to Impact initially with the Tessa Blanchard thing to crap on it. Like I said, but I said I'm going to give it its due process, and I want to watch the match so I can go ahead and break it down and do a thorough burial of this Impact, run here with Tessa Blanchard. But the bad thing is that Tessa ended up gaining my respect because unlike Becky Lynch and unlike these divas here, and unlike these, the Nyla Rose and all this spotty stuff, hell, even with the freaking lightweights and stuff like that, the little gymnastic backflip, Tessa took took a lot of bumps, and her and Sami Callihan did a hell of a feud. I thought that the angle and the way that they worked it and the believability in it and the way she was willing to sell, I got a little bit more respect for her.
She gave Sami Callihan the best match of his career. A woman gave Sami Callihan the best match of his career. Now, I'm not just saying, she's a woman, but I'm just saying that just shows how, how bad, Sami Callihan is. I mean, Sami Callihan, he's an okay promo cutter. He's all right. He's got a history. He was in a tag team with Dean Ambrose at one point. But, it's sad that the best match of his whole career was against Tessa Blanchard. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there.
But I mean, that is not just, and this is what I keep saying, is it's not just Tessa Blanchard. Yeah, Tessa Blanchard was the beneficiary of this feud. But Sami Callihan did his due diligence. Not a lot of guys could go in there and work a match with a female. Like, whenever I look at intergender matches, I just cringe. I absolutely cringe whenever I see intergender matches. I think they're fucking laughable. I'm totally not for intergender matches. But the amount of effort I have to give, like I said, I have to give Sami his respect, and I have to give Tessa her respect for selling, because this is probably what got me suspended from Twitter. So my Twitter account's gone right now. But Allison Kay, she's the one that started this big hate mob against Tessa Blanchard. But a few years ago, Allison Kay wanted to win. She wanted to fight men, and she wanted to win the men's title. It's true. She wanted to beat Bobby Lashley. And like when she's on Twitter, this is when we still had a decent rapport at the time. I was like, that's silly. I mean, that would be ridiculous, just to be honest with you, because Bobby Lashley, he has that prestige. He has the credentials. He's an MMA fighter. He gives legitimacy to that title. And He's supposed to fight you and potentially job to you. What, to feed your ego? Because, like I said, Allison Kay doesn't have what Tessa Blanchard has. She has that ring psychology, and that just in nowhere it just doesn't even cross Allison Kay's mind. And it's
Well,
all
Allison
about
Kay is
Allison
fucking
Kay.
gross looking. Can we just say that?
Yeah,
Really, she's fucking
it,
nasty. And
she yeah.
I just remember her when she was Sienna and Impact, and she was going on saying how Charlotte was stealing her shit. And she was like, oh, Charlotte puts her pinky out, and now she's stealing my. It's like, come on, get the fuck. Charlotte doesn't even know who the fuck you are. You draw fucking
I mean,
peanuts. You make peanuts
like,
for a living, bitch.
and that's all she does. She gets all these women wrestlers to support her. She's like this big extreme feminist. She got myself and Andre Corbell suspended from Twitter. So, which is not a big fucking loss because all of you people on Twitter are fucking virtue signaling crybabies anyways. So I'm not hearing you whine anymore. Oh, big whoop-de-doo. So I never even went back to try and open another Twitter. But no, I thought it was laughable because like I said, when she was Sienna, she wanted to fight Bobby Lashley. Get real, get over yourself. Impact. At the end of the day, I'm sure that they really don't regret losing you. And like I said, when she was in Impact, she was kind of just sitting on that title anyways. You had a hell of a lot more talented women that could bring interest into the division, and Sienna just isn't one of them. She's okay in the ring. She's okay. She's not bad, but she doesn't have a really good ring psychology, and she's uncharismatic. She botches her lines. She's just not very. She doesn't have a lot of appeal. You're not overly attractive. You've got to be good at something, and it's like you're mediocre at everything. You're a mid-carder. That's basically what you are. And like she held on to the fucking NWA title, and I'm glad that she finally dumped it to Tessarosa, because Tessarosa there yet again, she's had a cage fight. She's not really that attractive in real life, but she looks attractive on NWA with all the makeup on. She looks like an attractive woman. And she has an appeal about her. She's got that ring psychology. She laughs and she acts like a heel, and she plays it pretty good. She's got the ring psychology that's needed. Allison Kay has been like just leeching off of just being a feminist, just getting a lot of women support. She's the John Cena of female wrestling. She's good at politicking, and that's it. But I don't watch wrestling for politics, and I don't care about your virtue signaling. She's jealous of Tessa Blanchard, and Tessa Blanchard worked for that spot. You may not like the fact that she's the champion, but her and Sami Callihan put in a hell of a lot of work. And for an entitled fucking bitch, and I'm just going to sit there and say it, an entitled bitch like Allison Kay to come in there and screw over the work that Sami Callihan and Tessa Blanchard put into that storyline and that angle, well, it's just insulting to me as a wrestling fan, because it's not about you, Allison. Move on. And the timing and everything, this could have been handled a long time ago, but the timing of it just says everything. It was about being bitter, and it's about being jealous.
Yeah, no, and with the whole NWA thing, it's just the fact that Thunder Rosa wasn't the NWA Women's Champion like from the start is just fucking embarrassing. Because the fact that they gave it to Allison Kay or fucking Sienna, I was gonna call her Sienna because that's what fucking she was just going off. I'll never forget that. She was going off saying Charlotte ripped her off and shit. It's like, no one knows who the fuck you are, bitch. No one cares. You have shitty wrestling.
Yeah, nobody watched Impact for her.
Exactly.
They all watched
no
it
one
for
fucking cares.
Rosemary.
And even then, she was saying she was going to wrestle Lashley and shit. And, even Lashley was just fucking playing a part that whole time. And I'm just saying, like, Lashley then is a million times better than Lashley now. I mean, if you look at Lashley now compared to Lashley in Impact when he was holding the X Division title, the fucking whatever, Legend, Global, whatever title that was, and the World title. If you just see Lashley then to Lashley now, it's just like Lashley looks like Misawa against fucking a scrub from Japan. That's literally what it looks like right now. And
Well, I could understand if it was Drake Maverick or somebody, but it was Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, and you know, legitimately, this is the whole reason why Bobby Lashley signed a deal with WWE was to fight Brock Lesnar. All right, to have a match with Brock Lesnar, and he hasn't gotten that match. He's never been positioned in that point. I mean, I think there was one time he had a match with Roman Reigns, and that match sucked shit. So they never really put him in a spot after that, and now he's out there being Lana's bitch. You know, I saw him in a tag team.
Yeah, he needs to just go back to either he needs to go to NWA or he needs to go to back to Impact, one of the two. And then, like I said, you know,
or just
it would have been a hell of a lot better if Brock Lesnar.
Dude, that's all you got to do. Just go off to the face of the earth. And Will just brought up a fucking great point. You know, Tessa. See, and then I already said this. The fact that AEW has Nyla Rose as the women's champion, but Tessa Blanchard is the Impact World Heavyweight Champion. There's something wrong here. There's something not right in this situation. All right. And the fact that Tennille Dashwood is suffering on ROH television, something that nobody watches aside from the fucking neck-bearded fucking guy who jerks off in his mom's basement watching fucking Powerpuff Girls eating Cheetos. You know, that's the person that watches ROH weekly television. But, you know,
I mean, to be honest with you, maybe this is just the only way they can get a reaction from us anymore. You know, you ever stop to think about that, Cubics?
I mean, like, it's just they need legitimate stars. It's the same thing with AEW as a whole. They need actual people. I mean, they've gone in the right direction. Like they've started going in the right direction by getting Jeff Cobb. You know, Jeff Cobb is out there attacking Jon Moxley, and now Jon Moxley versus Jeff Cobb is set for next week. That's a step in the right direction. But AEW just needs legitimate people. The fact that they have Marco Stunt and Jungle Boy in a featured position, that's a fucking problem. That's not good. You know, we got to get everyone over because, we got to get new stars. No, it's Luke Perry's son. And, you know, no one cares. No one cares. I mean, I guess about the few AEW.
Oh, he's the really next Kerry Von Erich.
Oh, no, he's the next fucking David Von Erich. The way you put it, I was like, fuck. I saw that on Facebook. I was like, that's the way to perfect represent him. He looks like David Von Erich. He's got the body of David Von Erich. And Marco Stunt just looks
you're
like
thinking of Chris Von Erich.
Oh, Chris. Yeah, Chris. Sorry.
David Von Erich was bigger than Kane was.
Yeah, no. David,
you're thinking about
David
Chris.
Von Erich,
he looks
David's
like Chris
the Yellow Rose. Yeah, he's the Yellow. I'm sorry. I've been drinking water out of a can tonight. But you know, David Von Erich. Right. You know, yeah. But you know, he looks more like Chris Von Erich than Kerry Von Erich. But it's just, it really is embarrassing to have Marco Stunt out there looking like an autistic fucking teenager. You know, he just looks like someone who's trying to impress his fucking dad out there. Like, he's like, I did a bump. Am I good enough, Dad? I got a real job now, Dad.
Yeah, now do the job. Now go ahead. Lay down for 3. Because
and the fact that Chris Jericho and fucking Dave Meltzer have to defend him and say, well, Rey Mysterio was considered small and too. It's like, no, this is not the same thing. Rey Mysterio had a physique. He had a physique to himself. He was athletic. He actually did stuff instead of flopping around. And instead of looking like you're a fucking autistic kid in the shallow end of a pool. I'm just fucking.
You know, maybe Eugene would probably be the best. Maybe they should compare him to Eugene.
I literally, if we had Marco Stunt versus Eugene, then we can start talking about Marco Stunt being a great wrestler. But Marco Stunt having a good, having a legitimate contract and having him on national television in a spot is just embarrassing. It really is. And you know what? Will brought up a great point. They're great cruiserweights, but they're great cruiserweights on a fucking GCW show, on a scrub show for $50 a pop. Not even $50, $20 a pop when you get into the bar and drinks are free. And there you get to see Jungle Boy and fucking Marco Stunt in the main event. And you get free drinks for free in that show. That's where they belong. That's where they belong.
Because you have to be drunk to sit through that.
Exactly. And they're bringing down that whole act with Luchasaurus and like Luchasaurus, like it's literally it's embarrassing. Like every time I see them out there, I'm like, okay. I'm like, can Luchasaurus actually do something? Like, can he do something instead of just playing fiddle to these fucking two jobbers? And Jungle Boy is okay. I get it. He's the son of Luke Perry. He has something. There's something to him. But Jesus.
Well,
Scott,
like I think YouTubers really should invest in watching NWA only because NWA is a YouTube wrestling channel, and they're promoting their product on YouTube here in the YWC with all of the other YouTube personalities, and it would probably be a little bit more conducive for the YWC and other YouTubers to invest more into NWA than in AEW and the WWE, who at the end of the day, like I said, they don't really care about their fans at all. At least NWA is trying, and they're trying new, and I hope they work out, because if NWA works out, this is going to be the first wrestling promotion that was built entirely on the internet with an internet fan base. With the real wrestling, it'll come out of the YWC. So
I really, Polston, I really hope it does, but I really don't see that happening just because with all the YouTube ad revenue and all that shit, it's sustainable for sure, but it's sustainable for like a one group of people. All right. Now, this is a wrestling company with a wrestling show that tapes in advance, and they have to pan out all these shows within a week, and then they probably make like maybe a semi decent amount off of the YouTube revenue. And in the long term, no, let me hear me out on this. In the long term, I don't think this is going to work out, and I really hope it does, and I hope it gains us. But the thing is, with NWA right now, it has its own little niche audience. It doesn't even I don't even think they've had a video that's cracked 1 million views, right? I don't even think they've had.
Well, that's the problem, right? And it's not so much about them getting ad revenue, because we know that the ad revenue on YouTube is not going to subsidize the wrestling program.
Well, no, it's not.
That's not it. It's about the merch sales, and it's about the ad sales, and it's about getting an audience. If they can get a following, then eventually they could probably get a major deal.
Eventually,
but
yeah, they can.
It would still,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but
I'm just looking at the near term right now, and I'm saying that with their current things, with all that shit, I'm saying if not by the end of this year or by the beginning of next year, NWA Power will end up as a little spot on the WWE Network. Now, now here's where I'm going with this. WWE Network has been trying to put on a top. They have they only have so far right now. They have the $9.99 subscription for the network. But they've been testing out a free version of the network, like a $4 version of the network, and then the $9.99, and then the $14.99 fucking thing, where you can get promotions like ICW and British shows. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like this is going to end up on the WWE network. Do I want this to happen? Do I want them to stay independent? Yes, I do. But I'm just saying, I don't
think it'll go to the WWE network. Now, I think that maybe a Fight would probably be interested in picking them up, and maybe some of these. But I don't think that Vince, personally, like I said, people put too much, into WWE. WWE really doesn't have as much power as people think that they have. Just simply because they see it and they say, oh, well, Vince McMahon's a billionaire and he can get whatever he wants. Well, that's not the way the WWE works. They still have boards of directors. They have stock options. Well, now you have the WWE studios, which sucks right now. You have a lot of these hedge fund investors and business. So it's not just this is what I tell everybody. I said, WWE will go out of business before Impact or NWA will, because there'll always be somebody, a private investor, that will buy a wrestling promotion. But when you're talking about a publicly traded company like WWE is, they rely on investors. And when people stop investing into that product, which, that stock, like I said, they've been having to boost that stock. They've had to have guys like Michael Hayes and, bring in investors from other sites. They've had to have investors prop up that stock. And it's a lot different. That would be a risky move for him to, bring in Impact and then, try and find a way to subsidize that roster along with all these other rosters that he's bringing in. Plus, there's no telling if he doesn't have his fingers in the fucking pie of AEW too.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think that it's going to end up a situation where, Vince really likes to put a monopoly on things. Even these days, I mean, it's been rumored for years that there's going to be a different tier of the network to have indie promotions on the network. I just think it's a matter of when. And I see NWA as one of these promotions that will end up on the network. Now, I can just see Billy Corgan offering up enough money to just be on the network. Because, Billy Corgan is fronting this whole thing, but he has a bunch of writers and different shits on, on the whole NWA product as a whole. I'm just saying, as far as YouTube goes and the ad revenue from that shit, it's not going to be sustainable to keep a wrestling promotion, going on. But, same thing. It's I hate to fucking bring up something that Preston Boger said. Autism mania over here, but he was like, it's weird that the same company puts on the same show as Battleground, but puts on a fucking NXT Takeover show. You know what I'm saying? I know it's different people running NXT than WWE, but it's the same person that says yes or no on each show every single time. So. Let's talk about that. NXT TakeOver Portland was last night. It was an amazing show. We had Keith Lee versus Dominic Dijakovic in the opening, and that match was fucking amazing. Probably the best TakeOver opening match ever. Was it match of the night? Personally, not for me. It was probably the second match of the night. I really loved the tag team match with Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne versus the Undisputed Era. The Broserweights, finally won the NXT titles. Scott, I feel like you've been taking a back seat to me and Polston going off about the stupid shit in AEW and all the politics of professional wrestling. Scott, what did you think about TakeOver Portland? And just shoot the shit for me because this is shooting.
I was a huge fan of it, especially when the Broserweights won the tag team titles. I predicted it, and my predictions were right. I really enjoyed it, and the women's match, Tegan Knox and that was a good match too. Because I gotta give the women a lot of respect for being able to take those nasty bumps. Yeah, it was definitely enjoyable. What I also liked, I think that Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa are gonna have a Hell in a Cell match. I think that's the only way for them to end the feud is a Hell in a Cell match.
I honestly, if you're going to have those two in a match, then that's probably the match to go with. I'd honestly go with a 3 stages of hell match. I know they did that with Adam Cole and Gargano, but they should really do that with Ciampa and Gargano because that's really the feud to do it with. But I really don't want to see this match again. I know they can put on a great match between the two of them, but I really don't want to see this match again. I proposed, because I posted on the No DQ fucking Facebook group, that group fucking sucks. But I posted on there and I said, why not make an Impact instead of having Gargano turn on Ciampa, which is the same thing we saw fucking last year because Gargano already fucking turned on Ciampa. Why not have someone like Killer Cross, cost Ciampa the title? And then we have a battle of the bald psychopaths, Killer Cross versus Tommaso Ciampa. It would probably make no sense, but at least it'd be interesting. I don't fucking know. At least not having like the bajillionth Gargano and Ciampa match. That's all I gotta say. But I thought if this was not the best takeover I've ever seen, it's probably one of the best. I'd have to really think about which other takeovers were really good. But this one was just from top to bottom. I enjoyed it. Apparently, Timothy Thatcher was shown in the audience at some point. I don't know. Did you see this?
Yeah, he was shown in the audience.
He was okay. Yeah, I know this happened at some point, but I just didn't see it. So I don't know if they cut this out or something because I saw it on Timothy Thatcher's Twitter and I was like, "What the fuck?" They showed Timothy Thatcher. I was like, "What the fuck?" Because I was watching the whole pay-per-view and I didn't see him. But yeah, so Timothy Thatcher and Killer Cross are signed with NXT. That's cool. I really don't think Timothy Thatcher is going to end up on NXT TV regularly. I think he's going to end up in NXT UK because there's a history there with him and Walter and that whole. Because before there was Imperium, there was Ring Kampf, and I know they can't call him Ring Kampf because Mein Kampf and all that shit. I know they can't call him that, but Timothy Thatcher has a history with Walter and Marcel Bottel and all those fucking people in NXT UK. So I see him going there. But I don't know. I feel like this was a really good opportunity to debut Killer Cross. I really don't know how else they're gonna debut him. I feel like the most now the next takeover event is gonna be NXT. It's gonna be in Tampa, so right before WrestleMania. So it's probably gonna be Finn Balor versus Adam Cole, and probably, what happened to Polston? All right, there we go.
Yeah,
Some people
I kind of
off of them.
kind of dropped. Hey, I'm probably gonna have to go, man. My phone power is running down. So
It's all good, bro.
all right, man. Well, yeah, y'all enjoyed the rest of your night. Y'all can have a good time talking about NXT now, which I know nothing about. So
All right, thanks for coming on, man.
all right, y'all have a good one, man.
All right, peace out, man.
Peace out.
All right, yeah, but it's probably going to be, Balor versus Cole at the next takeover show, and then it's going to be Gargano and Ciampa in another match. So I would probably have. Here's what I would do. I would have Finn Balor win the NXT title, because then the Undisputed Era has no titles at all because they've lost North America and they've lost the tag team, and now they're probably going to lose the NXT title too. So. Because, Adam Cole is really close to beating Finn Balor's record for the NXT title because Finn Balor is the longest reigning NXT champion of all time. So there's a story here to build off of. And so I think we got some time from now to when the next takeover show is to where Adam Cole can break the record or where Finn Balor can beat him right before he breaks the record. So I think Finn Balor is going to win the title. And a smart thing would have Killer Cross debut right after that match and attack Finn Balor. Because then right away you get a fucking match with Finn Balor and Killer Cross for the NXT title. Now, should Killer Cross win right away? No, he shouldn't. But then, right away you get Killer Cross in the title picture. You establish Killer Cross as a fucking legitimate star. And he looks good in defeat against Finn Balor. That's at least what I would do. Because that match would be fucking awesome. Finn Balor versus Killer Cross. I'd fucking pay for that shit. But I don't know, Scott. What do you think? I mean, I don't know. I feel like me and Polston have been ranting about AEW for a little bit. I think what are your thoughts on Nyla Rose becoming the champion? Are you a fan of it?
It's kind of weird in a way. I don't know how long it's going to last. The only person I can see taking off is, what's her name? Kate Statton or something.
See, that's the thing, Scott. You don't even know what the fuck her name is.
Yeah,
isn't that sad?
Yeah.
Because you don't there's no stars. There's nothing. I'm just saying, man. Jim Ross. What's your thoughts on Jim Ross getting all this hate for calling Nyla Rose the king of the mountain?
I don't. Jim Ross has been botching a lot of his commentary. That's why I think they should bring in Matt Striker to replace him, because I think Matt Striker knows the wrestlers' names.
Well, and yeah, see, that's the thing. And I remember, who complained about this? Because I remember when Jim Ross was doing the commentary for New Japan that someone complained about him not knowing everyone's names. Scott, do you remember this? Because I feel like this was a thing.
Yeah, and that's why they brought in Kevin.
It was Tama Tonga. It was Tama Tonga, wasn't it?
Yes, Tommy Tonga was the one that was complaining.
Yeah, Tama Tonga said, Jim Ross shouldn't be doing commentary because they should get someone that knows their fucking names. And that's the thing. Jim Ross doesn't. And you want to know why Jim Ross doesn't know these people's names? Because no one cares. All right, the only people that care. Did my microphone cut out?
Yes.
Oh, God damn it. All right, but that's all these fucking neckbeard fans do. They just sit in the audience and wait for almighty Cody Christ to come out there and just spread this jizz all over the fans. And I'm going to sit there and take 10 lashes because, I can't. I need this match with MJF, even though he's executive vice president of the company and he can just make any fucking match he wants to. I'm talking storyline, all right? I'm talking storyline. I know, like, why doesn't he just make the match himself? He's the executive vice president of the fucking company. Why doesn't he just make matches himself? Why does he have to agree to all these fucking dumb stipulations? That's the thing. Like, when I see him out there getting whipped and Brandy Rhodes coming out there saying, "Oh, it's okay, baby," and Dustin Rhodes coming out there saying, "Oh, I'll take the next 5 lashes for you, bro." It's fake. Wrestling's fake.
Yeah.
Stop. Just stop. All you got to do. Okay, now you want to know what would be an interesting storyline? All right, if MJF was like, hey, Cody, let's have a match for your position in the company. What if MJF came out and said, hey, I want to be an executive vice president of this company too. I want to make the matches. That would be interesting. Instead of just MJF turning on Cody Rhodes for no fucking reason, like, oh, he's my best friend, and no, now he's not. It's stupid. It's fucking stupid. And this is the company where we have no writers and all storylines and wrestling matters here. It's fucking stupid. And yes, Will says nothing wrong with Cody. He's more entertaining than Rollins for sure. Yes, that's probably, that goes without saying. But like,
speaking of Seth Rollins, what you think of that promo with the Messiah or whatever he did?
Well, the whole Monday Night Messiah bullshit is just bullshit, because Seth Rollins is terrible. And the fact that they're bringing Buddy Murphy... Oh, I'm sorry, he's not Buddy Murphy anymore. He's just Murphy. Bringing down Murphy and fucking the Authors of Pain with them. It's fucking bullshit. And the fact that him and Murphy are the tag team champions and not the Authors of Pain is fucking stupid. Because they should have the legitimate tag team as the tag team champions. That makes no sense. But yeah, no, this whole Cody and MJF storyline is stupid. I hope it ends with MJF winning because Cody does not need to win this shit. And I feel like that's where it's going to go because Cody needs to just be the almighty Cody Christ. And all Cody, he needs to have the best entrance with all the lights and the pyro. And by the way, if you see Cody's entrance compared to anyone else's on AEW, like you can just tell who's running the show. It's fucking embarrassing. It is. When you see someone like when you see a legitimate athlete like Trent Beretta out there, just walking out casually, and then Cody Rhodes has all the lights and the cinematic cameras and the fucking, it's just fucking, it's gross. It's disgusting. And with the tag, and Will says on the tag stuff, I don't know what he means by that, but the tag team division stuff is just fucking terrible because we don't need to see tag team matches every single goddamn show. All right, I'm all for tag team wrestling, but fuck, when it makes sense, not just having random tag team matches every fucking week. Okay, all right, Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian, I like them. But I liked them 10 years ago. I liked them 10 years ago in TNA when they were competing for the X Division Championship, not sitting out here being legitimate tag team champions of the company. It's fucking stupid. Oh, okay, that's what he meant. Yeah, AOP should definitely be the champs, not fucking Rollins and Murphy. That just goes without saying. It's fucking bullshit because they literally have AOP out there doing nothing, just standing around. Same thing with Jake Hager. Same thing with Jake Hager and AEW. Why is he standing out there wearing a polo every single fucking week and not doing anything? Why? Like, Scott, can you answer? Scott, what fight is Jake Hager preparing for next? I remember when Jake Hager first got signed, they were like, well, we need to keep him on a limited schedule because he's fighting with Bellator. Okay, what fight has he done since AEW started? Nothing.
Nothing.
And I know he's fighting on the pay-per-view against Dustin Rhodes like in a couple weeks. I know that. That's all well and good. But this is the first time in 7 months that he's had a match, that he's done anything physical in the ring. Why? Why did it take them to bring in Jeff Cobb? They brought in Jeff Cobb for like literally no fucking reason. I mean, it's cool that they brought in Jeff Cobb because Jeff Cobb's a legitimate fucking star and he should be signed by a legitimate company. But I think Jeff Cobb is way better off in like New Japan or something like that. I mean, I don't know why he's in AEW right now. I just feel like it's not really a right fit. I feel like he should just be in New Japan killing people. But that's neither here nor there. I'm glad. I hope that once they got Jeff Cobb, they got him. Like they need to just they need to just throw money at this motherfucker and just, stay put. That's what they need to do with Jeff Cobb right now. Now, Jeff Cobb is having a match with Jon Moxley this Wednesday on AEW. That's going to be a great match. I'm tuning into that shit. I'm excited for it. That's a good match to promote on TV. That's all well and good. And now I see on AEW they're starting to do actual promos with people. I remember on AEW they just had these like cool like cinematic promos, but they were putting them on their fucking YouTube channel. They weren't putting this on TV. I'm like, why aren't you guys have this on TV? It makes no fucking sense. So now they're actually starting to do that, and that's a step in the right direction. But when you have guys like Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt and fucking Britt Baker out there cutting promos. I used to be a dentist, Tony. Oh, Tony, you have gingivitis because I used to be a dentist. And I am the best. I am the hottest. It's like I've seen better acting in porn.
Yeah,
legit. I've seen better acting in porn, and I haven't. I can recommend some great pornos out there off the air, but with better acting than Britt Baker. But Mox and Cobb Russell at the G1, and it was great. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think Jeff Cobb and even Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley is way better in New Japan than he is in AEW. And I'm hoping that Jon Moxley wins the AEW title from Chris Jericho. I'm really hoping that shit happens. Because, Chris Jericho's he's okay. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's just me. It's probably just me. I mean, that's really what it is with this whole inner circle stuff. I don't know. Something about it's not like clicking with me. And I hope, and I pretty much like can confirm that Jon Moxley is going to fucking win the title from Jericho. I mean, if he doesn't, then that's stupid as fuck. If he doesn't win it at the pay-per-view, then he should win it the fucking next taping at AEW because he should just be the champion regardless. But I don't know. I just think Jon Moxley would have been way better off being in New Japan and just staying there and not even touching AEW because really is Jon Moxley really making it like and I know for some people this might differ, but for me he's not really doing much in AEW. Like is he really setting the world on fire in AEW? Like would you have really tuned into AEW more if Jon Moxley was there or not? I really don't think so.
He needs to start. He should be the one to beat Chris Jericho. Then MJF could be the
No, he definitely is going to be the one that beats Chris Jericho. But the fact is, here's what I think. I think he's going to be the one that beats Jericho, and then Omega is going to take the title off of him. I think this is all just a build to get Omega the title. And, that's neither here nor there. I mean, Kenny Omega is a great wrestler. He's done great matches with anyone but, anyone not named Okada. He has semi-good matches. He only seems to have great matches with people named Okada. But and I hope the smartest thing to do right now for AEW is to partner up with New Japan. All right. Now, and I know the problem here is with Kenny and New Japan. All right. That's the big fucking problem here. All right. That's the only reason why New Japan and AEW aren't working together right now is Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega is the factor right now. Okay. You want to know why Kenny Omega? Okay. Now here's the thing. The Young Bucks were not shit in New Japan. They didn't draw a fucking dime for New Japan. No one gave a fuck about the Young Bucks in New Japan. All right. Can people just be honest about that shit? No one ever gave a fuck about the Young Bucks in New Japan. The draw was Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega was the guy in New Japan, and they were going to throw all their eggs into this basket. All right, you understand? That's why Kenny Omega, and that's why he was facing Tanahashi in the main event for the world title. They were going to have him win. You know what I'm saying? Why else would Tanahashi win the belt in the main event of Wrestle Kingdom? Unless Kenny Omega was leaving. Kenny Omega, I wholeheartedly believe if Kenny Omega wasn't leaving, they would have had him retain against Tanahashi and just had him been the champion probably till right now. He probably would still be the IWGP champion right now if he would have never signed with AEW. He'd probably still be the IWGP World Champion right now. Yeah. And I wholeheartedly fucking believe that shit. If Kenny Omega never left and went to AEW, he would be the IWGP World Champion right now because they were building their whole fucking company around Kenny Omega. And that's why Kenny Omega is blackballed from the fucking country of Japan. And that's why he hasn't been able to get back in Japan since then. He hasn't been able to get back in Japan. That's why he hasn't wrestled in Japan since then. Because he's blackballed from the fucking country. That's how much of a star this guy was in Japan. I don't think people are understanding this. And, and this is what kind of pisses me off. Kenny Omega, when he did that whole fucking Undertale entrance with him and fucking, Sans or whatever. I've never played Undertale, so I wouldn't fucking know. So, he was doing this whole, video game entrance, and he had Japan in there saying, oh, they'll fuck over your friends, and... No, but Will, I'm telling you, they're fucking with his visa for a reason. They're like Japan is not he's not welcome into the country of Japan. They're fucking with him for a reason, and I feel like this is wholeheartedly because of his shit with New Japan. And he had this whole entrance about they'll make you take away your friends and shit, and that's why I think Kenny Omega is gay because he has this weird fucking infatuation with Kota Ibushi, but. That's just my conspiracy theory shit right there. But I don't know. So I think that Moxley the moral of the story is I think Moxley beats Chris Jericho and then Omega beats Moxley for the AEW world title. Mm-hmm. Scott, I got to ask you a question. Long term, I'm going to say 5 years from now, do you realistically see AEW still up and running?
I don't know because if they sign with New Japan Pro Wrestling, then they could be running. But if they don't, then I don't know what else to say about that.
See now. Oh no, go what you're saying?
Yes, because I would like to see New Japan Pro Wrestling partner up with AEW. Then that way they could get more stars in that company.
They would benefit way more doing that because that's all they need. That's literally all they need, and all they got to do is just set aside their differences because realistically, all they got to do is just get Kenny Omega and the officials in New Japan in a room together, and that's all they got to do because Kenny Omega is the catalyst for this shit. Realistically, that's the whole fucking issue here. There's nothing else. There's literally nothing else that's holding them back. So... in 5 years or 4 years, because they're going to be around for 4 more years. They're signed till 2024, or 2023, I think it is. So, they're going to be around for a while. So I think they will be around, but I think a few of those people might be in WWE. If I'm gonna be honest, I think a few of those guys, God and AEW, yes. Okay. See now, if that's someone they should be fighting for. That's a group they should be fucking just throwing money at and seeing when their contract is up and just fucking throwing money. See, that's what I don't get. How Killer Cross signed with NXT is fucking bewildering to me because that's a guy who should have been with AEW pronto. I don't know. I don't get it, but that's what I'm saying. AEW, they're fighting for the wrong fucking people. They wanted to sign all these fucking, we got to sign Nyla Rose, and we got to sign Sunny Kiss, and all these, we're for everyone, rainbows, unicorns, and all that shit. They need to sign legitimate fucking great wrestling people like the Gorillas of Destiny, like guys like Jeff Cobb, which is, I'm hearing reports that Jeff Cobb isn't even signed to a deal. That's fucking embarrassing. You should be throwing money at this guy to fucking be locked down with your company. It's embarrassing that this is even coming out that, oh, Jeff Cobb is still a free agent, not signed deal with AEW. That's stupid. Sign him to a fucking deal. Sign a guy like Will Ospreay. Just throw money at this guy. All right, Tony Khan is a fucking billionaire. He's a billionaire. All he's got to do is just fucking like you literally, okay. Now I don't know what contract Will Ospreay has with New Japan, contract tappering, all that bullshit. But all you got to do is just send some feelers out like, hey, maybe if you come here, we'll throw you some this, and this. That's all you got to do. I don't know why that's what I'm saying. Like, AEW is fucking up. And it's not my company. No, I'm not telling you the way I should run it, but it's stupid. And them not signing Cobb tells me that New Japan partnership is coming. I really hope so, Will. I really fucking hope so. And, I haven't seen God on New Japan in a couple months now either. And I really fucking hope that means something. Because this is embarrassing. The fact that Marty Scurll signed with ROH, signed a multi-year deal with Ring of Honor, a fucking company who has PCO as the ROH champion. PCO. A 52-year-old man. Now I'm not saying PCO isn't good, but come on. Before that, they had fucking Matt Taven as the champion. And then they had Roosh. And Roosh is a guy who I fucking feel like should be in AEW. Because Roosh is fucking awesome. Matt Taven can go fuck himself. Matt Taven sucks ass. I don't care where the fuck he ends up. Because he sucks ass. The fact that they even had him as a world champion just shows how shitty Ring of Honor is nowadays. But the fact that fucking Ring of Honor, who has PCO as the champion, is just fucking stupid. So I hope that AEW and New Japan works out something, because now it seems like the fucking partnership with ROH and New Japan is renewed, because now they're having another show with, I think, like Jay White showing up and Will Ospreay showing up, and this is at Madison Square Garden, if I'm not mistaken. Scott, do you know about this? It's like a joint Ring of Honor New Japan shows.
I remember it being at Madison Square Garden, them saying something about that.
Yeah, I know it's a show coming up. It's with Ring of Honor and New Japan. It might be during WrestleMania weekend, but yeah, it just shows me that partnership is renewed, and that's fucking bullshit to me, because the fact that like a guy like Will Ospreay and Jay White and all these guys just aren't being like poached by AEW is fucking bothering me. It really is, because it makes no sense. Will says, you know what I think would be great and what needs to happen? What is it, Will? I need your input. What needs to happen, what would be great if they would sign legitimate people. If they would sign a guy like Aaron Stevens. You know how fucking embarrassing it is to watch NWA Power and see Aaron Stevens coming out in a karate outfit when he should be on AEW talking shit to the fucking fans about being the international savior of the masses.
Yeah.
All right, if that happened, if New Japan, AEW, and NWA all partnered up, that would be amazing. See, and this is the thing. I don't know why AEW isn't partnering up with NWA. It would make more fucking sense, because back in the day, they had the territories. They had all these fucking systems. And randomly, you would see the NWA champion show up in Japan, or you would see him show up at this territory. You know what I'm saying? It would be fucking cool if we saw Nick Aldis one day show up on AEW challenging Cody for a fucking match. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a story there. There's actual shit that can make sense. And that's why I'm hoping that it's a slow fucking build and they work together at some point. But AEW is just trying to throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. And I know in the short term, that'll be all right. But in the long term, that's not going to fucking work. And NWA, I think, is on borrowed time already. Like I said to Polston, I mean, they have the YouTube thing right now, but that's only going to last for how long? So I don't know. So I feel like NWA would benefit if they had a guy like fucking Darby Allin show up one week, just fucking, causing havoc, cutting a promo on the NWA stage. Do you know how fucking awesome that would be? That'd be fucking legit. And that's another reason why NWA, I know it'll probably take semantics and fucking all that shit to not be taped, but they should just have their shit live. They should just have, because I think Billy Corgan has the money. Smashing Pumpkins have probably accumulated enough money over the years. If you're throwing all your fucking money into this wrestling product and you have the supposed 20-year plan, then go with that shit. All right? Then throw your fucking money to get these fucking people. Because, out of all the people, I don't like Cody and I don't like the Bucks, and I don't really like Tony Khan either. But I feel like out of all of them who would be willing to work with other companies would probably be Cody.
Mm-hmm.
Cody would probably be open to showing up on NWA one day, just like fucking randomly, like challenging for Nick Aldis's title. It'd be fucking cool. It would make wrestling exciting. That's what I'm saying. These companies should not be trying to just compete with each other. They should be working together because the big fucking corporate thing is WWE. You're not going to carve out your own little niche. I know that's a thing, but you're not going to. If you guys work together, you have the best chance of competing against the big fucking corporate conglomerate, and Will saying, James Storm versus Hangman Page. Can you imagine if Hangman Page showed up on NWA and just started cutting a promo, drinking a beer, and then James Storm showed up? Like, can you imagine how fucking cool that would be?
Oh, yeah.
That'd be fucking awesome. And same thing, and I also I said this earlier, the fact that James Storm is even in a fucking company like NWA and not AEW on national television is fucking bullshit. That should be a feud that's already happening. Hangman Page versus James Storm.
Yes.
I'm just saying, I don't know what else to talk about. Scott, do you have anything in particular you want to talk about? Because, I can fucking rant all night about this shit. But I particularly don't want to do that shit because I can go all fucking night and I don't want to fucking blow a gasket and have a vein pop out and fucking get all in the red ass about professional wrestling. Because this shit's beneath me and I'm going to Arizona tomorrow and I got to fucking have a good time. So, Scott, do you have anything you want to talk about in particular?
Well, that one guy was talking about me. Malik was talking about me in the comment section on one of his videos.
All right, well, Malik's a fucking virgin loser who's never experienced any type of racism in his real life. So the slightest bit he experiences on the internet, he has to jump on a fucking high horse and express the fact that he's been oppressed and racially biased. Well, guess what, Malik? You're a bitch. You're a pussy ass motherfucker. You probably take dick up the ass because you're a faggot. And you get cucked out by women, probably. Anyways, Will says fantasy book and AEW NWA collab show. That actually sounds cool.
Yes.
All right. Let me think about this for a second. Because let me think. Let me get my mind going, and I could probably book this really solid. Scott, what would your AEW NWA collab show look like? First of all, would you do this in a big fucking, like, I would do this at a really cool venue. I would do this at an outdoor venue, probably like a fucking, I don't know, maybe like a, I don't know. I'd probably do this maybe, not an outdoor venue. I would do this at like the old ECW arena.
Yes.
Now call me weird for that, but I would do it like somewhere like that. So you can have all sweaty wrestling fans in one room. And, you can have one side of the audience go for something, and then the other side of the audience go for the other thing. Man, that's a good fucking question. I don't know what I would do for that. All right. For an NWA AEW collab show, I would probably do the first tag team match I would do would be a match against the Dawsons against the Butcher and the Blade. I would do that match just to open up because the Dawsons are fucking awesome. I like those guys. And the Butcher and the Blade are kind of like a hard-hitting kind of team. So I would do that match first as like an opener. And then the next match, I would do probably... Now, even though I fucking hate this guy and this guy could fucking go to hell, I would do Joey Janela versus Ricky Starks for the NWA television title. I would do that match. And then... I would do Trevor Murdoch against Dustin Rhodes. because I feel like that match would be a fucking hard hitting kind of, old grizzled vet kind of battle. And then right after that, I would do another tag team match. I would do, again, Will brought this up, so I'm going to steal this from him. I would do Omega and Page against James Storm. Sorry. I was thinking on Tim Storm because I'm trying to think of a good match to put Tim Storm in. But James Storm and Eli Drake, that'd be a fucking great match as well.
Mm-hmm.
Next match, I would put Tim Storm against a guy like Kip Sabian. Someone like that, so we can just beat the shit out of him and just, win, because I like Tim Storm to win matches. He's a good promo cutter, so I want to see that type of shit. Next match, I would have Kenny Omega versus Marty Scurll, just in a regular, match, because, I like Marty Scurll in NWA. I really think he should have just stuck with there instead of just, signing this whole Booker deal with the ROH. I feel like that was kind of a death sentence for him, because I feel like he could have signed anywhere and it would have been fine. But I go Marty Scurll and Kenny Omega as that type of match. Then I would go, of course, the NWA champion and then soon to be AEW champion Jon Moxley one-on-one. That'd be a fucking great match, probably. I feel like the clashing of styles there would be really good. And yes, I would have Omega pull double duty. Because, you see, here's the thing with AEW. They don't have legitimate fucking stars. That's the thing. And actually, I'm going to actually switch my fucking thing. I would have MJF versus Ricky Starks. I feel like that would be a good match. But... See, that's the thing with AEW. They don't have really any good stars because I don't know where to put the Bucks, and I don't know where to put Cody either, because the NWA as well, they only really have like Nick Aldis and the wild cards. I don't really where to put the wild cards, and then the Dawsons. That's the thing. I would at least have. I would have Nick Aldis versus Jon Moxley headline that show. I feel like that would be fucking awesome. Oh, I didn't even thought about the women yet. Sorry, this is how fucking sexist I am. I didn't even thought about the women. Thunder Rosa versus Rio. I feel like that'd be a good match. Will brought that up in the comment. That'd be Bucks versus Rock and Roll Express. Okay, yep. See, I forgot about those guys. Yep. Okay. Bucks versus Rock and Roll Express would be really good. I feel like they lost something that'd be fucking legit. And, another thing I'm going to throw out there, because I really don't know where these guys are going to end up, because supposedly, pretty much Matt Hardy is done with WWE. Can we say that after tonight with Raw?
Yes.
It's pretty much done. So I would honestly, do a three-way Bucks versus Rock and Roll Express versus the Hardys, because, I would say at this point, the Hardys are out of WWE. So I would do that match as a triple threat. That'd be fucking awesome. Jericho versus Scurll is money. Yeah, that'd be a match I'd want to see. See, this is why I really think Scurll should have just signed with AEW. He really should have, that's why they should have just fucking thrown money at that dude. What celebrity guest would you want to host AEW? I would have the dude who I'd probably have the dude who fucking screams, "Let's get ready to rumble!" like that dude.
Michael Buffalo.
Yeah, that dude, or fucking Drew Carey, because that'd be the ultimate heel turn. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think any celebrity guest should host AEW. Maybe David Arquette. If they had David Arquette out there do a skit, that'd be pretty fucking funny. I'd go for that. I don't know. They had Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes out there one week, and that was fucking god awful. The fucking who was out there? Was it the Best Friends, or was it fucking? No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't the Best Friends. It was and Helico and Jack Evans Evans.
Yeah.
By the way, where the fuck have those guys been?
I have no idea.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking and same thing. Remember how Shawn Spears was this great signing for AEW? Remember that? Remember how he was going to set the world on fire? Now that he's signed with AEW, and yet he's wrestling matches on AEW Dark every single fucking week. He had a match and he tag teamed with Colin Delaney. Colin Delaney from ECW 2009. I don't know. Sean Spears signed with AEW for this to do the exact same fucking thing he was doing in WWE. He was literally wrestling only on live events in WWE and probably getting paid the same amount of money. Like, you can't tell me his pay raise really increased by going to AEW. If it did, then I'm shocked that they're paying him for that amount of money because he's literally doing jack fucking shit. And he has Tully Blanchard as a manager. Why? Why does he have Tully Blanchard as a manager? What has he? Why? Where's the connection between these two? Has anyone ever explained that?
No,
I know they had that fucking dumb match with him and Cody, and then Arn Anderson came out and spine busted him for some fucking reason. But then there was really no other follow up besides that. And Tully Blanchard is still managing him when he's having matches tag teaming with Colin Delaney on AEW Dark. Same thing with Dustin Rhodes. You know, Dustin Rhodes always fucking shitting on fans, shitting on AEW's product, being like, oh, you sit in your mom's basement. No, you don't accept the changes when you're fucking tag teaming with Sonny Kiss wearing same fucking gear. You know, it's like, aren't you tag teaming with Sonny Kiss? Why are you complaining about the great state of wrestling when you're having tag team matches with Sonny Kiss? And, you know, he was basically doing the same fucking thing he was doing in WWE as Goldust, you know, collecting a paycheck, but he's doing the same thing here. But, WWE was a prison and you could compare this to the movie Papillon. Remember the movie Papillon? I just fucking saw that promo. It was with him and that fucking off the roads, like, Irish douche who was like, oh, what can you talk about the WrestleMania main event for this match? And then he's just like, oh, well, you know, WWE, I'm going to compare it like the movie Papillon. The movie Papillon, the guy's in prison and he just wants to get out. Yes, because WWE was going to do so much with Goldust. Because Goldust was going to set the world on fire. You know, I can't believe WWE canceled that one Goldust storyline. It's like, get the fuck out of here. No one cares about Goldust. I'm just saying. And, you know, I'm not shitting on Dustin Rhodes. Dustin Rhodes on his worst day is probably better than Seth Rollins on his best day. So I'm not shitting on Dustin Rhodes. I mean, Dustin Rhodes can go out there and have a fucking 5-minute match, and it's better than Seth Rollins having a 20-minute match. So I'm just saying, Dustin Rhodes is all right. But the fact that he's coming out here saying that, oh, well, WWE does this, this, and this when you were employed by them for fucking a decade, and you were happily collecting a paycheck, but as soon as your fucking little brother starts a vanity project, oh, I was in prison, and I was held back, and they just wanted me to sit down, and it's like, get the fuck out of here, dude. It's like, okay, keep wrestling fucking matches, waste away matches, and against fucking Sonny Kiss and Kip Sabian and the Librarians, and but no, WWE held you back. It's like, okay, dude. Anyway, Scott, I've pretty much rambled on all night. If anyone wants to have the link to the show, they can. Other than that, I don't really know what else to talk about. I've been chatting for about an hour and a half. I've been going on. I would have Sammy Guevara versus Ricky Starks. I didn't even think about that. That'd be a good match. I also bring... with Jim Cornette, that's the whole thing. He got fired over a fucking joke. Over a joke. And yes, was it a little stupid? Was it not really a relevant joke? Yes, but it was a joke. Now we're flaming people over jokes. It's like that dude Ari Shaffir who made a joke about Kobe Bryant's death. Like, it's like, okay, was it too soon? Maybe, but it's a fucking joke. He's a comedian. You know, Gilbert Gottfried made a joke a week after 9/11. A week after 9/11, when he was who was he roasting? It was during a roast of someone on Comedy Central. Yeah, Hugh Hefner. Yeah, Hugh Hefner. Yeah, he did a roast of Hugh Hefner, and he made a joke about 9/11 a week after it happened. And you know, he still has a career. You know, people. It's Gilbert Gottfried. He's a fucking legend, and people are flaming Ari Shaffir and taking away his fucking career over a joke over Kobe Bryant. I'm just saying. Like, and, you know, people can't even fucking joke anymore. It's stupid. And, you know, I don't know. Same thing with Jim Cornette. Like Jim Cornette is removed because he's a bigot and he's so behind in the times. It's like Jim Cornette is probably the only fucking guy in the wrestling business that's calling out all this dumb shit. It's like, am I missing something? Why is Jim Cornette the only guy that's making sense? And all it's fucking stupid. I don't know, man. I could go about this forever and ever and ever, but I might as well just hand the floor over to you. Scott, is there anything you want to shout out or plug towards the end? Because we're getting towards the end of this shit.
Yeah, like shout out to my channel, Willfield #1, and shout out to the National Wrestling Shooters, and shout out to your channel, Will's World Entertainment. Apparently some guy in the comments said, who's the other black guy?
Well, I don't know. It's something about Eric and Malik and fucking I don't give a fuck. Whoever that is in the chat, if you want to talk about that shit, then I don't know what to tell you, because that's basically fucking an issue that has no relevance to anything.
Yeah.
Because Malik and Eric are a bunch of fucking they're black guys who will never get laid and have never experienced any real racism in their lives. So when they experience the slightest bit of racism on the internet, they have the ability to get on a high horse because it's the internet. And just because they feel like they have a platform, they can speak out to, I could speak out to all my fellow black men, black men, Jordan Miles. Yeah, so they feel like they have this high horse that they can jump on because they feel entitled.
That's his name.
Yeah.
I'll feed him a homosexual.
Yep. No, Eric is a homosexual. Malik is a homosexual too. Omega is a fucking flaming faggot because I see the way he looks at Calamania. I see it. I see the way he was talking about Dallas and the way he was looking at the camera. He has some feelings for Big Dal there, but I don't give a fuck about those guys because they give their people a bad name. And by people, I mean black people as a whole. Like I said this on Omega's video. It makes guys like Omega make me not feel bad that the white people ever stole music from the black man, So I'm just saying. Anyways, this has been the best show here, the best show there, the best show anywhere, the White Devil Hour itself. Shit. Anyways, that is Scott. I am Jacob, and thank you all for everyone that has participated in the chat, has been a part of this lively discussion. Thank you to Polston, who was in the show, and I can't thank everyone enough. Anyways, Trojan condoms, they're good for you, they're good for her, especially the XOXO kind. They're very sensual, they're very nice, they're ultra ribbed, ultra lubed. They're good for you, good for your Omega, that's his name. Who is this guy? Capcom. That's his name. We can meet tall black women. I mean, okay, let's meet some tall black women. I don't fucking know what this guy's all about.
That's Melendez bad on another account because he has his videos uploaded on
Well, anyways, Eric Melendez can go back into his pin because he needs to start watching Sesame Street. It's about that time. Someone needs to put the helmet back on him, and it's like because Eric Melendez is just an autistic fuck, and people need to reel him in. Really. And you know what? Is it bad for me to talk about people with autism? Yeah, maybe it is. But there's people with autism that are geniuses, and this guy gives those people a bad name. Let's not talk about fucking Melanie. We can talk about fucking all night long, and I don't care, all right? Because, Trojan condoms, fire and ice, they're hot, they're cold, they have a hot, really smooth, sensual, and then in the beginning, and then afterwards, it's very cold and smooth. Anyways, I'm going to stop talking. So This has been Shooting the Shit with Jacob, and I'll see you guys next time. Remember, always keep your dicks hard, and ladies,
absolutely
keep your pussies wet. And I'll see you guys later.
See you later.
And remember, Eric Melendez, I am exclusively for the culture.
the culture.
Yeah. All right. Me and Will are exclusively for the culture. Anyways, keep your dicks hard, your pussy's wet. I already said that. Peace the fuck out. Peace on the streets, son.